Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I was guided to do Divine Masculine today, so I have a long read for you. I've been working on this all day. I kept getting guided to do research online about different things. There's a lot here for you guys, and it is guided towards the Divine Masculine today. It is May 7, 2019. The 7 is the Chariot. Boldly rushing in. It's about moving, traveling, ascending. It can be somebody on the warpath as well, but it's a lot of bold energy. It's that calm before the storm and what it creates, right? So the day adds up to 24/6, which is that Queen of Wands, also karmic energy. So there's some very forceful, powerful energies at play here. They're definitely not negative. The Chariot is powerful, and the Queen of Wands is that creative energy. So you can make a lot of this today. It'd be a fun day to be out and about as well. But a lot came through today, so I'm going to get right into it. The read was done at 10:30 to 33 is when I finished it. It was actually cut at 9:57, I think. Yeah, 57, and today is 5/7, so there's a parallel there for the Three of Swords. And also that can have to do with someone may be moving today with the Chariot. So let's see what comes up here. Actually the read I did at 10:30 to 33, before I was guided to do the Divine Masculine read, I went to my my Universal Golden tarot deck and just asked for a quick message, like what do we need to know. So I'll probably do that one in a separate read, a quick one, but I definitely have a general message for everyone, and that's a small one, so that'll be fast. But that was the one done at 10:30 to 33. And I was definitely getting, as I was putting out the main read today from the Sirian Starseed deck, at 11:05, that there was so much clarifiers on top of the two flames, because the twin flames came up, the two of flames in the recent past. There was so much stuff covering it. It was coming up as like so much crap snuffing out our light. Definitely focused again on the root crap to bring it all out, and root was coming up for me yesterday in the read as well. It was also covering a lot of the lovers, which is in the center of the read today, but there's a lot going on today. Definitely due to kids and proms and all that kind of stuff as well. Also, a message came up at 11:07 this morning about just the visualization of, carbon-based versus crystalline-based for us. And it's just the ascension of carbon to diamond, and so when you compress a piece of coal, it becomes a diamond, and that's exactly what's happening to you, exactly, between the carbon and the diamond. It's the same transition. And so the whole earth, the people, and the sun, they're all going through this transition. But it's that same thing as the diamond being compressed. That's what you're feeling from the energies to ascend you. So I thought I'd give you an easy analogy there, because you'll always remember that. But definitely, again, with the root chakra coming up, it's like we've gone through all the chakras and then we're coming back to the basics now. So this read was done at 11:17 to 18. Oh, the cut was done at 10:57. Because that was done the hour prior. So 10:57, I cut the Sirian Starseed, and then 11:17 it was done. The major arcana here were from the Sirian Starseed deck: Ascension, which is the world; Lovers, Higher Self, which is High Priestess; Luna, which is the moon; and then Solar Deity, which of course is the sun. And the card beneath the underlying energy, which I always use in the read, was the Tower. So that was another major arcana present. There were 3 wands, 2 swords, 1 pentacle, no cups. Excuse me. The court cards were Page of Wands, Page of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, King of Swords, and that was it. So the four court cards. So it's like a queen and a king and 2 pages. So definitely family, kid energy. But also has to do, the 2 pages could definitely be the children of the Divine Masculine and Feminine, and then their adult versions as well. No numbers were coming up today on the coding line, and the only numbers that came up in the read were 2, 8, and 9 as the after card. So 28 was a big deal for the 2 flames today. So 2, 8, 28, 9, as well as 19, and then just 3, 2, 1. Jump. time. It's 3, 2, 1. Time to go. I was just getting. So the code line here was all about surrender for the masculine. Again, this is for the divine masculine. Let's read today. So ascension was coming up within the code line, as well as the seeker of flames, which is that masked boy with the burning desire inside. But it was all about the masculine, their advice to surrender, to let go. It was coming up like the ass in the high Kohan version of the masculine is the ass part of his high self is the low masked boy with the hidden desire, the child, the solar deity, the BS. And he needs to surrender. Ask Jesus Christ, I was literally getting in the code line, to the nth degree to lose or seek urgency because of the low energies of flames from the sun exposing BS. All right, so because the sun has brought up all this crap from the root to clear, we really need to transmute these energies, and the masculine needs to surrender to it. So also ARD came up, which is acute renal disease or disorder, and then BS. So also, again, the kidneys and BUN is the abundance is the same thing as transmutation, the body getting rid of the junk, right? So that was confirmation of that, ARD and BS. Bowel sounds, right? Bowel movement, getting rid of the shit. So he was saying to the masculine, is like, ask Jesus Christ to the nth degree over and over again. How do I let go of this? And seeking urgency of all of the drama in his life from the exposure. How do I deal with this? The urgency off lame ass soul. Transmutation. BS. And it's like Jesus Christ saying back to him, surrender. Let go. Okay, so it's like a real big push for the masculine to just let go of trying to control everything in their lives. So it's getting like the low and the high of the aspect of the masculine. So I definitely went online. There's a lot of stuff I need to bring up, so I'm going to give you the stuff I got online first, and then we'll get right into the read, okay? So when I first put the code line into the system to see what would come up, Army Base takes a shine to Solar Seeker came up from Seeker.com. Fort Bliss, Texas, soon the largest renewable power project, and that's from the Department of Defense. The next one was a star's explosive death may have spawned our solar system, and this was from back in 12/30/2016 from Seeker.com also, which never usually comes up for me, and it came up twice in a row. Up to a dozen times the sun's mass might have triggered the formation of the solar system, a new study finds, and that was as of the end of 2016 at 7 a.m. And that happened about 4.6 billion years ago. 46 is the two children in the garden. 46 is the Six of Cups. And, it would have formed out of the clouds and gas of dust into the sun, and then the planets formed around them. But anyway, that was coming up. Yang Dong Qian is the co-author, astrophysicist at University of Minnesota, in case you're interested. Full text of the phenomena to order the solar system. That's from archive.org. Full text of the phenomena to order the solar system. And then right after I wrote that down, I got mana mana. Remember from the Muppets? Mana mana. Dum, dum, da, da, da. Mana mana. Okay? So it's like the story and making light of it. Here we go. Mana mana mana. Don't forget, it's the Muppet Show. All right, so right after this, for just out of the blue, I got mana mana. I'm like, where did I get that from? Like, I haven't thought of that in a million years. And my son they used to love the Muppets, but my son like has a photographic memory or something. He'd know like every part of the movie, every line, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that Muppet song came up, and I couldn't quite grasp it. And that was the point. And I wrote that down. Can't quite grasp it because I couldn't think of what Mana Mana was. What was that song? And then I realized I thought it was Muppets, but I couldn't figure out what was the rest of it. So it was the Muppet song. But then, now get this, this was so cool, because this mana came out of nowhere. And then the next heading came up, said TOLEC, T-O-L-E-C, and this is from ascensionenergies.com. Deep disclosure, the wave is coming, solar event, and that was from March 12th last year, 2018. It said TOLEC, deep disclosure, segment 2. And then it said M and MSM, manum, okay? Right after I got manum, and I hadn't seen this yet, I wrote, it had literally M and MSM. Manum, like it's the M's again. It said TOLEC Deep Disclosure Segment 2, M and MSM asked me to tell you we have an assistance program that will help people get a plan together. Okay, so for people who need assistance, reach out. The next heading was Solar Flash Ascension, the Great White Brotherhood.org. The sun eruptions as the sun is provoked, or just like you are triggered, the sun is triggered, also rises in spirituality, just like us, just in a different way. A next heading was To Fire Called by Nathan Lowell from goodreads.com, so it may be calling you to read this book. To Fire Called by Nathan Lowell, L-O-W-E-L-L, goodreads.com. Next heading was Solar Flare from Ascension Glossary. The solar flare is a change in the magnetic field, a burst of light, radiation, and intelligent energy. And then the next heading was PWHT. So this is over my head, this entry. So if any of you get it, please comment below if you have input, okay? It was just 11, I think it was 32 that came up for me, Justice and the Journey, okay? Leading the way. So if you guys know more information about the headings I get, please comment below. PWHT for HK/SSCC applications, metal and metallurgy, or metal energy, from English-tips.com. Regards backups and details for avoiding PWHT, you may refer to BS 5500, and 55 was coming up all over the place yesterday and the day before, and BS came up today. So BS of the truth, 5500, backed by a lot of source energy. Appendix D could be Divine Director, but I was also getting other stuff with the D today. If proved, the impact properties are fine without PWHT. At design reference temperature, not design temperature, the PWHT can be avoided. So I don't understand what that means, but it's definitely cool that the BS 5500 came up. And let me know if any of you understand that, the acronyms and stuff. The next heading was ASTR, Practice Test 3 flashcards from Quizlet.com. So that may be helpful for some of you or your kids. Next one was on the refractive index of soot at flame temperature. Distribution of mean diameter, lowercase d, d and then capital D dot BS dot will be greater than lowercase d due to scattered light is proportionate to lowercase d and hence strongly weighted by large particles. The departure of lowercase d or d dot capital B dot capital S from lowercase d depends strongly on standard deviation of the Pauli dispersion for young soot and hence narrow size. And that was from tandfonline.com. So then in a slight variation of the online headings, the next one was, if a person's twin flame has ascended, that was the header for AscendedMastersAnswers.com. Next one was why your twin flame's karmic is actually your ally and not your enemy, and that was from TwinFlameProgram.com. So these sites may be helpful to you. Be grateful instead of jealous. Okay, and that was from Gangsta Goddesses in there. The next heading was ERAoflight.com, a message for the advanced souls. So this is just listing different sites for you to go to for information. Another one was blog.peter, BORYSJR.com, 1/31/2013, Solar Ascension. The next heading was Divine Feminines, exclamation point. This is really happening, and that was from a YouTube. This is really happening, Divine Feminines. The next one was 20 main scenario quests in this location. The solar, so within our location, it was saying 20 main scenario quests are in your location. The solar gamer escape, okay, so it's a game site, ffx1v.gamerescape.com. The next header was Boston U on Instagram. From a flash mob proposal to a World Series win, and our incredible hashtag BU 2018 grads, our hashtag 2018 to, what did I write? To 9, top 9. So top 9, so about grads. So now we're dealing with graduations and proms and all that kind of stuff. So flash mob comes up in my reads a lot too, so that was kind of funny. The next heading was Shri and Kira, Facebook. They're spiritual authors. Okay, Master. Master Arisa Quantum Healers. The next heading was ATG Chapter 1064, Falling into the Sea of Flames, from WuxiaWorld.com. And then I was getting mana, so on with the show. So we start doing the read at 12:21. On with the show. Mana. Dun, dun, da, da, da. So as we get in with the read, ascension of the Queen of Wands, who was upright here, divided, lying, split, and stressed, purging twins she looks away from. Okay, so the Queen of Wands was coming up on the ascension card. Not her, but I was getting this from the twins. It could be kids as well, that they're divided and or lying or split and stressed, crying or purging, twins or kids. She may be looking away from them because she doesn't want to deal with this, but she's upright. Twins losing hope in the aftermath of destruction, but Divine Masculine wants to give his love to the Divine Feminine. As towers erupt around the world, the Queen of Wands karmics may be saying, what's their problem? Lion's butt sticking out where it doesn't belong, and I was having trouble writing today, so that may be a theme. Left hip and butt exposed by offer of love that tames the beast. Man caged, giving in to others by force. So he may be very giving, but maybe he's being forced to do what he's doing because he doesn't really want to do it anymore. Inspired to destiny to be schooled by the Sphinx, Akashic Records. So maybe going into Akashic Records or just dealing with family lineage, okay? Oranges was coming up again here, as well as high C came up in the coding with the high Kohan, the high C. Also high C's. High vitamin C here again, so when we get these really heavy hits, take more vitamin C. It flushes through your body what you don't use, so you don't have to worry about it so much. Not like other vitamins. So vitamin C here again, as time is golden. R1 came up. I was also getting that's Ra and ground, like toggling down to the center of the earth, Ra. R1 for us is also a train route. So some of you may be taking a train, or maybe you need to get on the R1 track. Okay. East is coming up as pi, centered, right, integrated, and the 0, the human containment. And then slightly north, which I was getting, and that what it really is, my message about the north and slightly, or east and slightly north, I've gotten that several times. Here, the destiny card was pointing east with the pi, integrated, right, the human integration, and slightly north was the I, but on a slant, lowercase I. And I wrote I on an angle, but it looks like ion. An angle, right? So ion is that reaching out, right? It's the connection. Slightly north from that position, okay? So if you're going, I don't know which direction I'm on the computer, but if on the destiny card, it was pointing like northeast, and then just slightly above that is the goose that laid the golden egg, who may be in trouble for telling a secret. And then foretelling was coming up. Fortune telling, foretelling the future. Someone in trouble for telling the future. to randomly open books to guided messages, and now everyone is doing that, and kids don't want to read their school books, okay? So this has definitely come up before, and definitely what we've been guided to do. I was doing this when I went to France in 2017, where we were just opening books at random pages to get our messages. So now that's coming up as that kind of news got out, maybe to kids who are now refusing to read their books because they think they can get all their messages just by opening to a certain page, which is pretty funny, actually. So kids may not want to read their school books, but it could also be adult angels being schooled by the Sphinx, by their guides, to do what they're guided to do, not just one thing or another, okay? But I was getting like kids like doing their homework with the books and just opening them randomly and saying to each other, "What'd you get?" Like, because it's more exciting, it's fun. Sharing messages with each other. Now it's exciting to learn. Must be patient, not quite time yet. The northeast reflection is EN, which is my code for Jesus. So it's just Mary Magdalene and Jesus. That Mary Magdalene is northeast of Jesus. And just like Mary Magdalene is reflection of Wounded Warrior, okay? So a wind vein was coming up on each house or roof. Wind and solar power. It was just 21, 21, and 2. So completion, and take that leap of faith. Open your heart and jump to all of the new alternatives. Not just solar panels, but wind veins on your roof as well for wind power. And then I was getting the movie of the boy who built the wind tower. But, you know, they were very poor. I'm thinking, I don't know if it was Africa, but, you know, it was a very poor area. My memory's so bad. I didn't watch the movie that long ago, but I can never remember the details. But he had been schooled by his father because they couldn't afford to keep him in school. But he found a way to sneak in and read books and learn how to build the windmills and how to power electricity, because he was just really into it. Like, that was his thing. He needed his dad's bike, but his dad wouldn't give it up because it was his only freedom in going anywhere. But he finally did. But that was coming up around this. So, like, don't limit your kids. Like the father yelling at his kid, you can't do that. And the kid's trying to help his dad and the community because he knows how to build something, but the father wouldn't believe him. So this is what's saying, listen to your kids. They have new ideas and inspirations. You have to allow them to follow their own path. It may not necessarily be formal schooling. So I was getting like half alien to humans to conquer long line of DNA. So, you know, so obviously half-breed humans are coming in to help us get rid of a lot of the crap from our lineage, and so traditional schooling may not be helpful to those kids. Half alien to humans, to an alien is just alien, not familiar to humans, to conquer long line of DNA, of being boxed in, streetcar named Desire, and Desiree. That's the second time Desiree came up for me, so let me know if that resonates with you. And I was also getting love seeker codes from the code line. So as I turn the page, it's 1240, and 40 is the page of cups. And that often, it comes up as Jesus in the oracle cards as well. So we have the 12 of the hangman and the wisdom and seeing new perspectives, and the 40 of the innocent heart, the page of cups. And so I was getting Desiree, and that then Spirit was guiding me to look Desi up, because my first miscarriage that I had was named Cesare, phonetically spelled. That's the way you pronounce Caesar in Italian, but I didn't like Caesar, but I do like the phonetical pronunciation of Cesare. So I had spelled it Chezaray, which literally says She-Aray. So the miscarriage I had was home of the Ray. So that was very cool. So they knew that I would get, when they were saying Desiree, to break that down. So I was getting Desiree, so what do they want me to look? So of course I think Desi, and I think Desi Arnaz, so him and Lucy may be coming up here, but that wasn't the focus. But then I got a website, Babla, it was a translation website, bab.la, and then I was getting like mana mana, blah, 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 blah. Right? So Desi translates as a couple different things. And that site was actually translation.babylon-software.com. India and South Asia, ancient Sanskrit was Desi. It was spelled a little bit differently. It was D-E-S-A with accents. And also, when I got the A on the angle, they were showing me, we're guiding you to words with accents, okay? Because that was definitely that connection and also accents. Also spelled D-E-S-H-I. It means land or country, so not foreign to you, but familiar. It included Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Also, D-E accent forward, I'm not sure in this language what it's called, I-S-I, is a class of people in medieval Ireland, which means vassal or subject, where the rent payers to the land owners, all right? So this brought up a wound again. So this is why they always lead me to these different things. So now we're going into Ireland, and I have no connections to Ireland, so that's kind of alien to me. But apparently it's not, from what I understand, I've been told recently. And then Desi became a proper name for certain septs and their own subjects throughout Ireland. And we're talking about we're talking about a word that means land, and that it was construed as the same status of Gaelic Ireland. So they had Daisy Muma, which is like a Munster, Mooman, or I don't know how they pronounce it, Mooman. But then as soon as Mooman came up, I was, again, mana, okay? It's Mooman. So that was of Munster, and then Temro was of Tara, and then Beck, located in the kingdom of Maid, and then Tuisart, the northern Dicey, I'm not sure how they pronounce it, Dicey or DC or Deci, I don't know. But anyway, that's a sept of which would become famous as the Dalgley. During early Middle Ages, some had great political influence in parts of Ireland, and some suggest to connect to Britain as well. All right, so now we have Ireland and India coming up with a possible connection to Britain. What do you think? All right, so we have India and what else did they bring up? Yeah, so India and Southern Asia, and then Ireland comes up. So connected to England and Britain. Okay, so here we go, guys. Mana, bum, 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 bum. Here, on with the show. Desi may refer to also desorption, electroscopy, ionization. So here we go with the ions again, which reach out to connect. Drug efficacy study implementation, as well as dark energy spectroscopic instrument. Dark energy spectroscopic instrument, DESI. Also is listed on that one of the definition or dictionary sites, English Romanian, which I really couldn't follow what they were getting at there. But it was referring to it, the word DESI, as kind of how the Brits would say colonials or indigenous, like it's their home that they're familiar with. That was the British parallel. And this is from comments from India about the connection between Britain and India. India is my country, one said. One who is alien or foreigner is Pardesi, meaning other or from other land, the alien, the foreigner. So then the other definitions came up, like in French, désir means design, but also désir came up from French, and definitions, they were using some sentences as examples. Your wish is my command came up. So desire, when I say the mass boy with the burning desire is just another word for wish. You know, a very strong intention inside of you. And also the same, it parallels to the word design as well. Your wish is your internal design, how you want your life to play out, right? So it all kind of went together, including being your land or your country, because it's your wish of what you want to embody your home, because your heart is your home. So this Britain, India, Ireland connection comes up here. That the Indians, we're talking about the Brits as completely apart from them. You know, they don't feel the same. Also, there's going to be a South African connection as well, but that wasn't specifically coming up here. Ireland and India. So it was bringing up the royal elite and their loyal subjects. All about Britain to transmute today. Proper schooling. Oxford was coming up as OX, feminine, masculine, or it was actually coming up, you know, that's kisses and hugs, but it's also the human embodiment and the feminine. And then I was getting 4D. Okay, so that could be divine creator, but it also could be for the dark. So ox and Ford was coming up here. And then Ford comes up again later in the read, but we also have the ox, the oxen. 4D, Ford. The ox forging ahead, all right? So the slave labor, right? So they're getting all these parallels about what Britain owned, who Britain abused, okay? So, and don't get me wrong, I'm not judging anyone. I have English in my background as well. So, let's see, we have teacher-student. So we're paralleling the royal elite and their loyal subjects to proper schooling, teacher-student, royals, loyals, rich, poor, rich man, poor man came up. And also designated driver came up, right? I don't want to deal with that. You drive, okay? So it's bringing up these polarizations. But that was just the beginning of it. Manam, turn the page, it's 109. 09 is the hermit, the wise man, the one that goes within, the collective consciousness. Today, I wrote at the top, was reference day. Day to open a book, guys. Open any book to a random page and see what message you get. That's your order today. The Wheel of Fortune. And also the V was the arrow pointing west when the pi was pointing east. The V of co-creation. It doesn't work unless you have those lowercase i's, which represent humans. Your I am presence. So they turn the page and we go into Mana. This show starts again. It's all about the Brit-ish. So what does Brit mean? Students of the faceless crowds. India, South Africa, Ireland. All comes down to Brit. Minute marine organisms. In other words, pond scum. Ocean equivalent. Royal pains in the ascendant line. Descendants and lineage and or snobs. And the male, when I looked down, was 10808, Lionsgate. As the child rises and inspired to change destiny. And boy, was this pretty cool that came up. I'm not making any actual predictions here, but I was getting that Charles would not be the next king, that it's even possibly not William, although I'm not positive on that. Charles and William both have the same life lesson number, 47, which is that 7 of Cups. Charles may abdicate or something may happen to him, but I don't think Charles is ever going to be in power. That it will go to William. And also I was getting that Camilla may be a problem because of what she says, her mouth. Also, I was getting now the energies of Pi Day, graduation, achievement, integration, and centeredness with Pi coming up. A win by a head. Of a horse, of course. And so where are we going with this? You got it, Mr. Ed. Humility also comes up. And with where I was going, and then Pi and this stuff coming up, and Spirit connecting with me, and Mr. Ed, and humility, Edward came up. And as the first entry that came up for Edward was Anglo-Saxon, which means EAD, well, fortune, prosperous, and weird, WEARD, guardian, protector. Edward, King of Portugal, came up. His mother was English. That was from 1433 to 38. 33 is the Christ vibration. 38 is the Queen of Cups, the Divine Feminines. Prince Edward then comes up, who was born March 10th, 1964. That's actually 2 months after my sister was born. She was born January 15th, Martin Luther King Day. I was getting Prince Edward is actually the real power here. His life lesson number, and not because of the numbers. I was guided to Prince Edward right away that something's happening. I don't know if something happens to them or people abdicate their position. Who knows what's going to happen? But I'm telling you, Prince Edward is coming into power here, whether it's the throne or just his own extreme power, that he's rising as the sheep, right? 33 is his life lesson number. His age is 55, and what's been coming up for the past 3 days? 55, 55, 55. And his life lesson number is 33 of the Christ vibration. He's the fourth child, but the third son, the Empress and the Emperor, from, QE2 and Prince Philip. He was third in line initially when he was born. Now he's 11th in line to the throne. 11. And also 11 was coming up with 8 again today, because in the traditional American deck, 8 is strength and 11 is justice. But in a lot of other tarots, it's the reverse, where 8 is justice and 11 is strength. But now we have him being the third in line initially, and now he's the 11th. So initially third would have been his abundance, which, he's kind of been off the hook as far as that responsibility. And now he's at 11th of the judge, being the justice system. And then Sophie Helen was coming up. And when I opened it up to see her, because I don't know all this stuff about whose wives are who and all that kind of stuff, and I don't even know, even the things I do know, I don't know anymore because I can't remember their names, so it doesn't really matter. But when I opened up Sophie, and Sophie is connected to me, because I'm always very connected to Christos Sophia, the energy. As soon as I opened, I got a major connection for Sophie. I think she's going to be a big reason, not just her, him as well, but that she's going to be such a good partner in power. Then I was getting Edward Romero, who was the ambassador to Spain from 98 to 2001. His birthday is 1/2/1934, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And his life lesson number was 20, Final Judgment Day. So I don't know if something's going to happen with him. He is old, he's in his 80s, so I don't know if he's going to pass or if something's happening to him. And then Edward Cullen came up just as another Edward online, as a lot. So he may be in the same kind of energy as these others, like kind of the meek inheriting the earth kind of energy. Leaders who have felt unworthy will finally grow into their passions beyond the family lineage, who family lineage may now pass. Fall of a royal at a polo match. The one who meditates will rise to power. If will gets in, I see them ruling together. But I see the younger, the bad student who becomes the main power. And Spirit's connecting with me. You deserve love is the underlying energy here, and new love was beneath that. King of Swords, free from poor student wound. Okay, so now they're paralleling back from Edward to the Divine Masculine. So any masculines who felt like they weren't good students when they were young are now able to free themselves from that wound, and now probably dealing with their own kids and seeing themselves in a different way, because now they're seeing their own kids. So lisps and dyslexia come up for kids who may not be meant to learn by reading, especially now, where we were just talking about opening the book to a random page. Harsh truth and or surgeries out of mass units, murders, and grief of those worrying or left behind. Flames of grief up for transmutation. Root pain, so your spine may be burning like mine is right now. Sudden trauma, but especially upper back between the wings, like I have an iron cross like between my wings. That was one of my injuries, but I'm getting that, and also root pain. Sudden trauma, death, high priestess with 2 keys. And this doesn't have to be the feminine. It can be, but I was really getting it more as a karmic energy. So often I see this high priestess can be, it could be someone who dabbles in the energy, you know, it doesn't have to be a twin. So the high priestess with the 2 keys, it's like she's flirting with them and offering them like this, caught with her pants down or helping someone escape. Confession's coming up here. As I turn the page, it's 149, and 49 is the 9 of Cups. 49 came up this morning as well. Just give me 1 second, I want to check something. That's when my masculine connected with me this morning, not 9:49. So 141, so that was my left butt connecting that I was talking about. But anyway, as we turn the page, gypsies pretending to be a high priestess. So people who may or may not be psychic, but also we're getting gypsies here whose intentions may not be pure. Not to say all gypsies have impure intentions, but you understand the meaning behind that. But I was getting gypsies pretending to be a high priestess or a psychic with bells on their ankles and or cat with a bell that is not all black but actually white and gray mask, like a black cat with mask on, who always plays with her feet. She gets caught in a jealousy, lie, and or scandal, teasing 2 men into temptation, gets her dragged away. That's just what I was getting, so I don't know who it applies to, but she could be a dominatrix or a secret dark side, or either drug use, like a secret that nobody knew about, or ADHD issues came up, which was so weird because I was actually going in, I couldn't think of Munchausen because that was what was coming up, and ADHD came up in the whole page, but it had to do with someone wanting to hurt someone else. So it's so weird that ADHD came up. So it may be the reason why some people act out, because they can't control it because of ADHD. So that might be an issue for others as well. But Munchausen syndrome was coming up again as someone hurting others, to get attention. So it's either Munchausen hurting themselves to get attention, or, hurting others when no one knows about it in order to keep getting them to be the savior, okay? Or have to, they like to go into the hospitals and get attention. You can look it up if you want. So that's come up several times, and it comes up again. I'm surprised how many times it's come up. So environment was the underlying energy of 44, and underneath that was new beginnings, number 1. And 44 is of that mastering and integrating, grounding and integrating energy of boredom. So boredom is there for a reason, so you can ground and integrate whatever has come in, the energies you need to ground and integrate, so that you can transmute and then go on to the next. So new beginnings came up then of magician, the 1, and then the Queen of Cups may be jealous of a 5D lover. Queen of Cups could be the divine feminine or a karmic, but it was coming up as someone jealous of a 5D lover. So if it's the feminine, she could have some jealousy of her masculine. And if it's the karmic, she may have jealousy over the feminine, okay? Or the masculine. But the 5D lover in another world, out of her power, or she's a player, or just frazzled in energy, can't deal with the energies here. Or the divine masculine, happy with twin, but struggle in the 5D twin connection, but struggling in 3D, as karmic may look like Queen of Cups on the outside, but actually very distorted, or kids out of whack, spending and sexually acting out, or their worlds are upside down, or divine masculine not getting enough sleep. So during the day, he is not in his power, or rushing in just to drop from exhaustion, and holding back passions with twin. A masculine's ex may be out of alignment. Twins keep coming up good here. There's very positive energy for the twins and the kids. So that 6 of Cups came up several times, but all upright. But he may be exhausted. Back and left shoulder pain may be coming up here. Unable to focus properly. Unable to move. So someone may be stuck, like they may have thrown their back out. Orange cat is a watcher for the divine masculine. So this wasn't like a creepy watcher, but somebody's masculine may be using an orange cat to watch them, which is funny because I get an orange cat who's always looking in my window. So he uses their eyes, a pain to his heart that he cannot be with her today, planting flowers together. Royal reds, fleur-de-lis, Pallas Athena, Lena, Sabrina, and Gina with root and lineage issues. Mana, mana. Red curtains coming down. And that could have to do with Russia as well, and China. And high slits too old to pull off. So somebody might be throwing some dresses away that are too young for them, or they don't fit them anymore. Royal horse down. So again, this could be referring back to a polo match again, where I was getting for the royal family. Woman issues for divine masculines in all four corners of the world. Queens, lovers, fallen princesses, and those masked may fall. Cirque du Soleil. Twins and children rise to power around the world in rest, prayer, and meditation. Love arrows pointed at divine masculines to clear their environments and confess. Drop their burdens and let go. Surrender. So recently, for the masculines, is the two flames. And then I was getting X-Men for some reason. So the two flames in the recent past, unfair, fending off negative energies without getting any satisfaction, and at cross purposes. I turn the pages, 215. 15 is the devil. So it's those shadow energies dealing with codependencies, addictions, whatever it is, dealing, as I write down, with dark energies. High priestess, so it could be a false twin, but someone who does deal with psychic energies, or whatever it is, Wiccan or voodoo or whatever they do, or a coven, okay? So that's definitely come up in reads before. It's not a lot, but they're definitely out there. I've talked to some. So covens and gossips, aligning in droves. Graveyards robbed and hit and run as birds come in for the carcasses, bleeding out. Freshly passed to harvest their blood, perhaps, if they weren't processed by a morgue. And then I was getting animals, perhaps, like people seeking blood. So humans obviously get their blood drained at the morgue, so if they hadn't been processed, there may be grave robbers for that, or for animals who've been buried. Digging a grave or a hole, or it could just be as simple as digging a grave or a hole for plants or bushes or trees. The King of Wands with their back turned to a wounded warrior, which could also be himself, on a quest to see the light, but constantly thwarted by dark, trying to cover it all up. The older brother or masculine sister diverting attention from the hermit, divine feminine twin, choosing path of commitment to self, God, source, creator, love, collective consciousness, which are all the same. So there's definitely coming up people around the masculine keep like trying to cover the connection between them, like just throw in distractions every which way so he can't feel the connection coming through, or whatever, or can't do anything about it because they're giving him more things to do. The foundation here is higher self of the masculine. High Kohan at shadowed moon, the worst over with a divorce or a break in commitment or a religion or just new spirituality or thinking outside the box. The Empress sitting pretty in her full power already knows. She's not seeking 3D information, only following her guidance, especially new moon to mid-moon, when the false light is not strong. Centrally here is the lovers, nobly co-creating, magnetizing a new life to come to them and not pursuing it. With third energy and peaceful connection, divine masculine is grounding and integrating the love offer in the third dimension. Awakened and riding in, magician, invisible man, X-Men come up again, X-ray vision, Richard Simmons, and Pocahontas all came up, as well as musicians with black hair who wear sweatbands, at a gathering perhaps with a twin. Parties, prom, church, state of address, or literally state of your dress. To mend, to go to the seamstress or tailor, wine spilled on a good suit at the last minute. Wizard to the rescue. And then I got Maid in capital letters in heaven. And Made in Heaven #1 is one of my favorite movies, but that's a So Twin movie if you haven't seen it. It's an old one, but you'll love it. Made in Heaven. But Maid is also the business of someone I used to take classes with, Rachel Ford. So I'm giving you a plug, Rachel. She has a school, for sewing, designing, all that kind of stuff. Just like in Philadelphia, Moore is the college institute for that kind of thing as well. But she has her own institute now, MADE, it's M-A-D-E Institute. So MADE in heaven came up, and it was so funny because she would be like the person to call for last minute fixes to the rescue. Challenged by masked boy with a burning desire, present to union and transformation needed to get there. Queen of Cups Cancer, or Queen of Cups moving or traveling around the world with awakened King of Cups together, psychic soulmates with as a devilish DM looking over his left shoulder. He is the left hand, not the right hand man. Like, so now he's changing positions. He's no longer somebody else's right hand man. He's his own man. He's left. Or likes to wear black chains. Taurus, Virgo, Gemini, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Capricorn, Libra, and Aquarius came up here as involved. The Queen of the Night, or Queen of Pentacles, which could be any earth sign, so Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, with nightmare of, there's several situations going on here, so if it doesn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. Nightmare of dream girl getting married or child bride with Scorpio jealousy issues. Also, there could be proms or dances going on. A child who's been putting it out there, inappropriately probably. There's news about dumping attachments, hopes and dreams for your child. So someone might be like they're graduating, or they're leaving them, or they're getting married, and so the parents are going through grief of losing their child in that way. But letting go of attachments, hopes and dreams that they always had for their child are now dashed because now they're getting married. Whether they're pregnant or not is another story, but it's just the loss of their child earlier than they expected. Grieving the loss of this, or the loss of other emotional attachments. The Divine Masculine healing, forgiving, grieving, Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles could be coming up as a Capricorn, but also can be Virgo, Gemini, Pisces. Can be a twin or a child. So the Knight of Pentacles could be grieving a twin or a child. The Page of Swords, or news about his higher self. News about lovers. The Page of Swords lover may be seeking closure to come full circle, but still with a load of work to get done. The Emperor may be out of control. More and more money may be being requested from him for last-minute problems to share new passion, creative growth. With the Queen of Cups putting it out there, or in need of last-minute fix, the Queen of Cups comes to the rescue to mend or give a hug to Divine Masculine and or children who are at a bridal party or prom or whatever celebration it is. Or someone wishing their mother, partner, or twin could have been present at this event. Fathers paranoid about daughters' dates and sex. Worried all night. What did I write? So the fathers were, paranoid about their girls going out with boys for prom and sex because they're out all night. The fathers worrying all night with their bow and arrows ready. Or Divine Feminine and child getting attention for nightmare situation. Queen of Pentacles, Aquarius, Queen of Cups, Aries, or Queen of Cups in a leap of faith jumps to romance of their dreams, to healing frustrations hung up on Capricorn, Scorpio, but the worst is over with a surprise or shock of a death, marriage, or sudden ending, a rebalancing taking place. Third party gets justice as Leo may fall, or ego fails. Ankles crossed, kites are flying, my toes just perfect. So you can just see the bridal party doing their toes of a bunch of young girls or prom, okay? Multiple girls crying at a party or preparing for an event. Nothing seems to be going her way, and then the shock of her life. Perhaps a Leo tackles a problem or ends up at the beach with fairy princess daughter or Libra third party, or dreams of vacation or a honeymoon are ruined. Lots of mothers and daughters and fathers in the way. So there's lots of mothers and daughters in general, and the fathers in the way. Water sign parents, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So it's like a king and queen of cups, but I was getting them all, both water signs, with kids getting married, or they're the king and queen of cups getting married, or a happy ending to a home or marriage, where it's a peaceful split. Maybe a remembrance also of a child who has passed. So that's not something new, but someone who may have passed in the recent past. There may be a remembrance for them. So if that relates to you, I'm sorry for your loss. As we turn the page, it's 324. 24 is the Queen of Wands again, and 3 is the Empress. Soon is Luna, not the sun, but the moon, and that comes up from by the light of the silvery moon. I've been getting slivery moon, right? So this is the same, not the sun, but the moon. Luna, not the sun, but the moon, not the day, but the night. Dogs are not howling, but looking at the light by the tower after dark, distracted from their path. Kids are drained or sick, tripped up or breaking patterns. Facades get knocked off. So someone with a mask may have gotten their mask knocked off their face. Lice may be coming up here, as well as bed bugs, or someone was actually bugged, and because of the bug, they got caught. Healing from heartbreak, separation, or heart issues, and now awakened to the devil, or their own shadows, addictions, or codependencies. All of that stuff now being exposed, coming to light. Because we have the sun and the moon. They're both reversed, actually. But they came up multiple times. If the divine masculines behaved badly, their behaviors may be now reflected in the way their daughters or sons are treated by their dates and friends. And they're seeing it. They're getting the parallel and now able to gain a new perspective on it because they're no longer young. Angels taking one step at a time, present at the beach, or to landmines. And the English patient then comes up again. Or to work on alignment and cracking codes of emotional detachment, crying, manipulation, rest, prayer, meditation, and shadow work, enlightenment. Sagittarius, Capricorn, Pisces, Leo, and Cancer came up there, tired of the false light and masks and ego. That was in the near future. So a beached whale also comes up here, so I don't know if literally a whale will get beached. But then after I wrote a beached whale comes up here, I was getting that the Brit is actually, British, but the Brit, the definition of that is actually food for certain whales. Whales eat bottom feeders for breakfast. After prom parties and breakfast at the toilet, parents not surprised and thus deal with it very well. Divine masculine is expressing passions, heated discussions, and there's just a flurry of activities going on here. The Queen of Swords speaks to the divine masculine or to his choices of path. After adding injury to insult or insult to injury, abandonment, and left out in the cold. Stuck in emotions, refusing to release those emotions, the masculine with no peace and all of this chaos going on around him. The King of Wands is coming up as reversed, so the masculine energy reversed, tired and angry, feeling above all this crap, whether it's his situation or what he thinks the divine feminine is. Give a relationship, or it could be exes as well, but give a relationship a chance. Pay attention to the red flags, which are your signs and synchronicities, but also keep an open mind, and romantic feelings came up here. King of Swords releases self from prison of having struggled as a student or a teen, with school, with girls, with money, and or an unwillingness to learn, or get past holding grudges or stubbornness. May now see something he experienced as a child, totally different as a parent now of a teen. Around him, or how he is seen, the Queen of Pentacles is here, messenger of truth, Capricorn, waves in connection or a meet. Free with open heart, truthful, but also pure and loving. So this could be anyone. It could be divine feminine or a karmic or anyone in the masculine's world. The Queen of Pentacles is still coming in though with messenger of truth, Capricorn, waves in connection or a meet. So it could be divine masculine and feminine running into each other or planning to meet. Free, the feminine's coming up as free with open heart, truthful, but also pure and loving. So he may feel her words may be a little harsh because he's triggered by them, but also sees her truth and her loving nature. Maybe codependencies between the messenger of truth and soulmate. Karmic confessions between them, perhaps. So as we turn the page again, it was 345, which is the Empress, and the 45 of the Five of Cups, which is that grief card, or just not letting go of the baton to move on. Or the Queen of Pentacles may be sharp with the Divine Masculine and all la-la with everyone else. La-la-la, da-dum. Uncomfortable situations with exes together at kids' functions or family gatherings. The masculine needs to clear blocks of exposure, of Leo ego, and lots of energy that he can't handle, right? So he may not like kid situations because it's too much for him. But also it's not only running into a twin, but it also could be just running into an ex where they're not together anymore, but you have to come together for the kids' functions and their family functions, and they're not comfortable being around each other. Clear idea. The masculine is to clear any ideas about a Leo, whether it's a feminine or karmic, or just your own ego, that Leo is weak because they deceived or dumped you, or because you dumped them and they won't stop crying about it. And you may perceive that as being weak because you were raised not to cry. Leo Cancer or Leo Cancer or Leo and Cancer, they could be two separate people as well. And the light just brightened. it said yes. May be overwhelmed and or purging, and that could represent both the divine feminine and the karmic. So the masculine would get just like, I'm tired of women because they all just cry or whatever, and now he's got all these teens around him or whatever, it's pretty funny actually. Leo out of control, and Cancer is crying, and this could also just be two kids. Clear your ego and ideas about what is strong and what is weak, divine masculines. If you haven't cried, then you need to cry. It's a normal way. It's a normal grieving process. So surrender came up, as I said in the beginning, but even more so is moderation and personal growth. Okay? Allow you to see your weaknesses and to grow from it, and to always stay moderate in everything that you do. That Sagittarius female, drinker or potion maker, who could be a snob or just depressed, could be an adult or a teen, dealing with the King of Cups with daughter or girlfriend, and emotionally detached from her. So it's definitely getting, it could be a karmic and one of the children, with a masculine and with their new girlfriend or with their twin. And the karmic's not liking being around them. So they come off as, snobby. So it could be a kid as well. But the masculine is being very detached in the situation as to not have to deal with the emotions of it. King of Swords, Libra, and the King of Cups doesn't have to be a masculine. It can be a relative or somebody else in the masculine situation who's detached and dealing with these problem children, whether they're adults or children. Queen of Swords, Libra, with third party in 5D angels, there's justice here coming up in a Leo crying from shock, from Scorpio or Capricorn, Pisces, any combination of these, Cancer or Sagittarius Leo could have Libra and or Cancer as well. The King of Swords, emotionally detached and working to align apart from false light of Sagittarius, feminine, and to align with 5D, third party angel, his twin, who could also have Libra, Leo, Pisces, or Cancer in chart. Wounded warrior receives help from Hermit and or Virgo. Virgo coming out, or Hermit, coming out slowly after over-isolating. Impatience in laying down swords of an apology for manipulation due to insecurities. So it's coming up like the feminine is impatient for an apology, and then the masculine is still feeling insecure and manipulative. The Virgo and Sag may have to apologize to each other. Page of Swords and Page of Cups reversed. Page of Swords was upright. Kids maybe not just getting along or spreading rumors and rejecting each other. High Priestess may be meditating or mediating a situation, or being quiet and just listening to kids complain about each other or fight. Or this could be the inner children of the masculine and feminine as well, or just adults who are acting like children. But the High Priestess ends up on top here of the read, aware and intuitive, or that the secret is still looming above all these underlying issues here. Ascension, completion, after drama is coming out, the towers around the world, destiny of the High Priestess or the higher self, expressing love to the divine masculine, while the Queen of Pentacles looks on And there could be multiple Queen of Pentacles. The feminines and karmic could both be Queen of Pentacles because they're different signs, with Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. But the High Priestess or higher self may be sending love to the Divine Masculine, while the Queen of Pentacles looks on at twin flames, or she is the twin flame, at the lovers. But I was definitely getting some karmic energy here, as her looking at the lovers of the twin flames, challenged by inspiration and desire. The moon and the sun, both reversed here, like I said. Message of news or a child of the King of Swords, wounded warrior, and their 5D world. So some kind of message may get out about it, or, you know, some rumors might come out, or masculine may run into someone at a party or an event that tells them something, or they overhear something, whatever it is. There's lots of situations here because there's a lot of chaos going on with all the kid stuff now. So we turn the page, it's 407. And then I was getting, it's a man's world, all right? So that came up, as well as the 7 being the Chariot, which is very bold and strong, and the Emperor of the 4. Fires seen around the world in 80 days. And 80 days is July 26th, if anyone was curious. The twin flames travel, higher selves. So they may be traveling in the etheric realms with their loves, but also in the 3D realms. Some may be traveling around the world with news, message. There may be a challenge of desire or a child with issues, expressing passionate feelings or a heated discussion of things come to light, and the Queen of Pentacles exposed to or by the King of Swords, wounded warrior, via higher self, crowning, connecting two inner children, one insecure and messaging or talking, and one hurt and impatient because of rejection, and now working it out. All right, so that was a mouthful. It's already over an hour. So I'm going to show you the picks, but I'm not going to go into the oracle cards here because it's already very long. This is the basic read here. Okay, and then the full read. Okay, I don't think there was anything else. Alright, so we'll see if I have time for the other stuff. It was a long day doing all this, so it was just 10707, alright? 007, and 2 chariots and the magician. Very powerful stuff. Rise and be loved, guys. It's just 717.